What's up, real Detroit Lions fans? Andrew and I are here to discuss what is going down right now in free agency. So, free agency went live today, about 30 minutes ago, but the legal tampering period started on Monday. So, we've already been making moves. We've already been having rumors and talks and all that good stuff. So, we're going to get right into it. We weren't able to jump onto the roundtable. We're definitely going to be on there tomorrow, or at least one of us will, I'm sure. Especially with this coronavirus going around. I'm working from home. I don't know if, the rest of the DSA is, but, it is what it is. We got to stay safe. We got to stay healthy, and this is a way to do it. And free agency, I'm so glad that they didn't delay free agency because it's definitely keeping me entertained while I'm stuck in my house. So without further ado, let's get into some of these signings and trades and all that stuff. Andrew.
Yo, before you start,
yes.
Before you start, Luke said he's here, so you might have to just add him real quick. And then I just want to say what up to Mars and Chris. What up, though?
Yeah, what's up, guys? All right, so let's get started. Yeah, I'll add Luke if he joins, or if anybody from the DSA joins. That's cool. Okay, so who's the big name? Yeah, why don't we go in order? Okay, so
all right.
Right off the bat, when we're talking about re-signing players, there's guys that we were trying to re-sign who clearly their contract was up and it was in question of whether we were going to sign them back. So that's like Ashawn Robinson, Graham Glasgow. There was a bunch of guys, but one of the guys that we did sign back was Danny Amendola for $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Looking back at it now, because I think we talked about it a few times, but now it's kind of looks a little different with the other moves that we made.
I still hate it. I still hate it. I mean, honestly, it makes no sense, bro. Like, I get it. He knows the system. He plays hard out, but like the dude is reaching mid-30s. Like I would rather go the younger route and let Marvin Hall have his opportunity, let him have more snaps, or just kind of say screw it. And, have an undrafted free agent or something come in, like it makes no sense to spend $6 million on a older wide receiver when you can go cheaper and get similar production, or you actually use your tight ends that you invested so much in. So I think it was an awful re-signing.
Yeah. So I was definitely somebody that was a little more optimistic when we initially signed him, just because even though his production as a whole, total yards, touchdowns, and all that, even though that was pretty limited, so it looks like we signed big money for somebody that has very little production. I think that he put in the production when it mattered most. He got a lot of crucial first downs when we were on 3rd and long. All right. There's our boy Luke. All right, let me just finish up this thought, and then we'll get to you, Luke. So, so I was a little bit optimistic about it at first, but now I'm kind of angry about it. I'm kind of angry about Danny Amendola signing, because that $6 million could have been used to keep Devin Kennard, somebody that I'm very, very passionate about and that I love deeply as a Lion. So, Luke, how do you like the Danny Amendola signing now that we've seen a little bit more of the signings and what we're doing in free agency so far?
I mean, listen, fellas, y'all know from the get-go, the moment we signed him, I burned this whole idea. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it made no sense. I thought you figure $6 million for 1 year for Danny Amendola. You could have spent $6 million and got a full contract out of somebody for like 3 years at a rookie rate. Or how about you just trust that you have a legitimate tight end and actually use them in the same capacity that you would use Danny Amendola. And then you look at what the trickle-down effect is. Like you said, Devin Kennard is gone. We're picking up people to replace him, which is, to replace like the people we're losing, I guess. But it's weird when you look at what's going on here, because you essentially cap a guy who's 34, really at the tail end of his career, to take away targets away from the tight end and the other receivers. And to me, it was just a bad signing all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
when you look at some of the other people getting contracts right now, they're going for less and they're going to be more productive, or, they're going to be more important on our team. So I think it was just ridiculous for them to give him a $6 million contract.
Yeah, I think that you guys are right in the aspect of we definitely could have gotten the same production out of somebody that's younger, cheaper. But I do think that Stafford feels more comfortable with him than somebody else that has less experience. And I also think that he's a leader in that locker room and for the wide receiver group. So I do put a little more value in that. I'm not. But like I said, now that I've seen more of our Twins doing, I'm pretty furious about it because you let go of a guy like Devin Kennard, who's a team captain and who's a cornerstone of our defense, somebody that we actually can hang our hat on, somebody that like actually produces, actually is a vocal leader in the locker room, everything. I don't know one negative thing about Devin Kennard besides the fact that maybe he's not like a generational talent. Like it's not, but as a player, he's been great for us. And he's a guy that Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia specifically targeted when he left when they got him in free agency, I believe from the Giants. And he's performed well here. He's a big Matt Patricia advocate. And, he has a great personality. I just don't understand letting him go for. You gave $6 million to Danny Amendola.
Exactly why.
I don't.
I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, as you all know, one of our signings is Jamie Collins. When you look at Kennard and you look at Jamie Collins, they're similar roles. They rush the passer sometimes, but they're more off-ball linebackers, right? And Jamie Collins, since coming into the league, has been able to guard running backs and tight ends in the passing game. Devin Kennard cannot play in the passing game, which really limited his ability to be, play well for us. So the fact that we got rid of him and we pretty much replaced him with Collins was an upgrade. I get the frustration because the dude is super nice.
Let me stop you right there.
All right.
That's bull crap, dude. That is bull crap.
Yes, I'm with real on this.
They are
That's
not
absolutely
playing.
BS.
Oh, I want to hear this.
They are not playing the same role. Okay, they're not. Absolutely not. Devin Kennard has a hand in the dirt. But, there's no reason for you to say, oh, now we have a coverage linebacker. Let's get rid of our best linebacker last year. The last 2 years. He's the best the last 2 years. Let's get rid of him and team captain and a vocal leader that all the players love and a locker room presence.
Hold up. So this is my point. The dude is, hand in the dirt rushing, right? How many sacks did he have this past year?
7.
And how many sacks did Jamie Collins have this past year? Not rushing as much.
7.
Exactly. So what does that say?
Okay, but what's your point? What's your point, though? What's your point?
Jamie Collins is a better player. No, because you're not going to use him.
I don't think that's what he's saying, though, Andrew. I think what he is saying is they not playing the same spot. Jamie Collins is going to be an inside person on the Detroit Lions. He's not going to be in the spot where Kennard was on the outside in that jack linebacker spot. He's going to be inside with like Jared Davis or Jelani Tavai. He's going to be inside with one of those guys. So he's saying, okay, yeah, you finally got a guy that can play inside, but then you dump the one guy who played outside and cap a guy who really is mad at outside and Chris Jones. That's what I think he's saying.
Is that right? If that's what you're saying, then I agree. If that's not what you're saying, then I got a problem.
No, that's absolutely what I'm saying. I have no problem signing Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins is a great player. But when you're talking about replacing Kennard for Jamie Collins, I have a problem with that because they're not doing the same thing. And on top of it, okay, look at the contract. Look at it financially. You just gave $30 million to a 30-year-old linebacker, and then you had a 29-year-old linebacker on deal for one more season for a cheap $5 million. And you cut him? You cut the $5 million 29-year-old linebacker that's been performing for you for years and that you went and picked out in free agency. And now you're cutting him for a guy that's a 30-year-old linebacker. They are hoping he produces like he does on the Patriots. I don't. But I'm happy that Jamie Collins is here, but not at the expense of Devin Kennard. That really makes me angry. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact that.
No, go ahead. I was going to add on to what you said by saying on top of what you pointed out, they gave it up for nothing when you could have just released Christian Jones, not took a bigger cap hit, and still got money back. So,
re-signing Christian Jones pissed me off beyond belief.
You could have just not re-signed Danny Amendola. That's your $6 million. There you go.
That's it.
You could have pretended like you cut Devin Kennard. Like, come on, man. Ugh. Makes me sick.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny? On one of the subscribers at the we got done with the roundtable yesterday, they put a message up there and they said that it is dangerous for you to be a captain in Detroit because you will get cut. And I was like, what? And I went back and looked, and I was like, I'd be damned. Glover Quinn, captain, release. Like go down the list. Snacks Harrison, captain, release. Quandre Diggs, captain, release. They really are like acting out. If you a captain, you ghost.
You know what though, Luke? I'm fine with it. You know why? Because if you're a captain and this is the product that you get at the end of the season, you clearly did not do a good job. You need to. That's
not the captain's job. The captain's job is not to do that. That's the coaching job.
Oh, I mean, I get that.
He did his job, man.
Yeah, but they didn't do it at a high level. You can't tell me that any of the guys we released
who created more pressure on the quarterback than Devin Kennard.
Hey, I get it.
Consistently throughout the season.
All right, hold up. I don't know about consistently. He had 2 games where he had multiple sack games, and then after that, he was pretty much a no-show.
The whole defense is a no-show. That's something that's a totally different conversation.
But that's why we need to change it, because the fact that something's not clicking, you got to change it. And if you got to clean the locker room, I'm fine with that, because I'm so sick of, you add 1 or 2 people and the same shit happens. Like, bro, we had the worst defense I've ever seen. I don't care who leaves for the most part.
Yeah, but it's situation by situation, though. Okay, it's not like you can just be like, oh, well, the defense played bad. Oh, I don't care if they get rid of Trey Flowers right now. No, that would leave a lot of dead money. He's a good player. Why would you do that? No, it's situation by situation. And guess what? Like Luke just said, Devin Kennard is putting up the most pressure on our team. And what was our biggest fault? Pressure. So we got an off-ball linebacker to replace our highest pressured linebacker. How the hell does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, I mean,
exactly.
Maybe they're going to address it in free agency, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Kennard is that good, and I've been vocal about that. I don't think Kennard is a great linebacker by any means.
Let me ask you this. Is Devin Kennard better than Christian Jones?
Yes, but they also played in different spots.
Yeah, they both play outside linebacker. So that right there in and of itself tells you where we are.
Okay, I mean, I think we should just go to the next topic, because I didn't really care for Kennard as much as others do.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He had some big plays. He did have some big plays. I love the dude as a person. But as far as talent and execution, none of our linebackers, none of them, I don't care which one you want to talk about, was by any means above average.
Above average?
7 sacks past 2 seasons. That's pretty damn good. We're looking at listen, like if we were a team that isn't the Lions and we're looking at free agency right now, we would love to get somebody like Devin Kennard. That's what pisses me off the most.
Well, we're gonna see who picks him up. We're gonna see who picks him up.
Okay, fine.
I think overall the way you got to view it is this. Just because you add one piece does not mean you need to eliminate another piece. That one piece still gave you decent production that it wasn't going to hurt you. And you gave that $6 million to Danny Amendola when you can find a receiver a dime a dozen with this draft. This is a very receiver heavy draft, and they chose to go the route of something different. And
I feel you, but look at this. I mean, you figure they're keeping Christian Jones, obviously. They're keeping Tavai. They're keeping Jamie Collins, and they're keeping Davis. That's 4 linebackers right there. And if you are right about us getting Simmons in the draft, there's no way in hell they were going to keep 5 linebackers on top of Simmons.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
That's
because
what we're saying.
Simmons is not just a linebacker. Why do people just assume because somebody on NFL Network or NFL.com decided to call him a linebacker, just assume he needs to be a linebacker?
No. I'm saying he's going to be a safety linebacker hybrid like Harrison Smith. That's my comparison. He's going to be in the box a lot. He's going to be all over the field if he plays. But the problem is that you're not going to use 5 linebackers on top of a player like Isaiah Simmons, who's potentially going to be playing the box. That's way too much.
But you would, though. You would, because let's say you got those linebackers out there and you now got him out there. He could be – you don't know if he's the linebacker or he's the third safety.
Yeah, but you're not going to have 5 linebackers on top of Isaiah Simmons on the field at one given time, is my point. I mean, I get it. I personally would keep Kennard over Jones. I would keep Kennard over Jones, but they already re-signed the idiot during the season, so they clearly like him. Like, I don't know.
The deal that they gave Christian Jones gave him a veteran league minimum. He could have been ghost, and they actually gave him a pay cut essentially. So that part don't make a difference. And then with Isaiah Simmons, if you get Isaiah Simmons, and you got 4 linebackers out there, Isaiah Simmons, you can still leave him out there. He's not treated as a linebacker. He's treated as a playmaker. He's free. He's free to do what he wants. But I think our issues go deeper than personnel. So, like I said, I'm gonna leave that part of it for another question. But I get both points. I just think that I'm with real on this one. You know, you get Danny Amendola, who's a Patriot guy, and now all of a sudden, you know, you get rid of another guy who you really wanted and they went out and got.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. Well, since we're on the topic of Jamie Collins, why don't you, Luke, tell us, what does Jamie Collins bring to this team? He's obviously a good coverage linebacker, even though he did have 7 sacks when he did rush the passer. So what does he bring to this team?
He brings somebody who has good instincts and good technique and being able to play inside and outside. So similar to the versatility that they just keep preaching about, he'll be able to blitz for us. He'll be able to play the run. He'll be able to do a little bit of coverage. He'll be able to demand that you pay attention to where he's at. He's a smart player. Like I said, I like the player. You know, even though he's 30, I don't like the contract. But he's going to be able to give you somebody that is going to be able to man the middle of the defense, tell people where they're supposed to be, and be able to make sure that those assignments are being executed. And that's something that we were lacking under Jared Davis, who is still trying to figure this thing out with this system. So I think at the end of the day, we walk away with a better player who can definitely assist us to short the middle of the field. They got Danny Shelton to be the D tackle. He'll be the middle. Now you need the safety.
All right, Andrew, what are your thoughts on Jamie Collins, and what do you think he could bring to this defense?
Yeah, I mean, I love the signing. I'm not too mad about his salary, you know, his contract, just because for $10 million a year for an experienced player who already knows the system and everything, I think it's okay. Yeah, I would have liked it maybe around 8.5 or 9 a year, but it is what it is. But you're getting literally the number 1 player from the Patriots this past year in sacks and total tackles. And on top of that, he's had a lot of good seasons. You know, he's been a Pro Bowler, stuff like that. Like, he's a fantastic linebacker, and he's able to cover running backs and tight ends, which, my God, I have been saying our linebackers cannot cover the pass. I feel like that was my first words, because it just feels like it's been happening as long as I've been a fan. So I'm happy that we have him. And then when he does rush, like Luke said, you know, he's able to produce pressure. I mean, the guy had 7 sacks, and that's not even what he's there for. You know, he's there to cover those running backs and tight ends down the seam and everything. So I think it was fantastic. I think it was a fantastic move.
Okay, yeah, no, I totally agree with both of you guys. I think it was a great pickup. I didn't even know that. This sounds silly, but I didn't even know that he was available, to be honest with you guys. I was like shooting for Corey Littleton, and when we got Jamie Collins, I was like, oh, there we go. Like, this is exactly who we need. Like, I know that Corey Littleton would have been probably better, but like, man, this guy is definitely cheaper than Corey Littleton would have been, and he has obviously ties with Matt Patricia. I do remember though, when he was going to the Cleveland Browns, or maybe when he was leaving the Cleveland Browns, and there was rumors about him coming here, him and Patricia didn't really get along. But apparently,
stop real. Don't do that. Don't do that, real. Don't do that.
What's up?
See, because you hitting on what my issue was, which was another one of my issues with why we like you got rid of a guy for the same thing, and now you're gonna, because there was this whole thing where he got tired of Matt Patricia and was feeling like Matt Patricia was putting him in bad position and wasn't using him the right way. So apparently, I guess they made up. But go ahead, man. You preaching, my bad. I kind of, when church go on, I get the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Like, especially when you cut Devin Kennard for him, who's been your biggest supporter. I really don't understand what happened there. It seems like another Quandre Diggs error. Like, this is a big mistake in my opinion, but we'll see how it pans out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if stuff doesn't work out this year, our coach and our GM, everybody's gonna be gone. Which is, that's at least what the thought process is going into this season, given by the orders of Martha Ford. Anyway, okay, so we re-signed Danny Amendola. We got rid of Devin Kennard. We got Jamie Collins. Okay, we got rid of Graham Glasgow. Very odd to me because he seems like one of the best guards in free agency right now that everybody's talking about, besides Joe Thuney, who was tagged. So I think we were all hoping we'd get Joe Thuney, whatever his name is, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now that he's tagged. So whatever. But then on top of that, we got rid of Rick Wagner, who went to the Packers. And then we got Big V. I'm not even going to attempt to say his name, from the Eagles, who was behind their starters and didn't really see that much playing time. We paid him 5 years, $50 million. So that's a lot to unpack. Andrew, what do you think about
45,
what's happening to our O-line? Oh, I'm sorry. 5 years, 45.
Yeah, the official numbers is 5 years, 45 million, like 20 guaranteed.
And that's for Graham?
No, that's for Big V.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What was your question? You said, what do I think about all the O-line
Yeah,
stuff?
with all those moves, Graham Glasgow, Rick Wagner, Big V, all of these moves happening, and obviously Thuney being tagged, what do you think about our O-line as it stands right now, and kind of what can we do going forward to improve it? Because we have no guards.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought about was, Graham Glasgow, he got benched during the season. I don't think people really realize that. Like, he got benched, and there's a reason for it. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's played phenomenal for us for games. He's shown up. He's versatile in the ability of playing center and guard. But, like, I don't know what was happening towards the end of the season, but he was not playing that well. And they actually started benching him. And I don't know if it was because they knew they weren't going to keep him or what, but they did not want him. I don't know. Something was going on there. As far as his talent, I think what we have now, I'm fine with it. You're going to pay Doggins, whatever. Like, you're not going to pay them crap compared to what you would have had to play Glasgow. And it's going to be similar production because he definitely took a step back towards the end of the season. The Big V signing, at first I was like, what the hell? But when you really break it down, the Big V signing could potentially be genius. And let me tell you why. For one, who are the Eagles tackles? Jason Peters and Lane Johnson. Those two are probably two of the most dominant tackles that we have had in the league in the past decade or so. So what other player is going to replace them? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get why Big V didn't get much playing time is because they have two Pro Bowlers already at both tackle positions. And then Big V, when he did step in for Lane Johnson during that Super Bowl run, played pretty well. He played pretty well. And his biggest attribute is his ability to block in the run. What have we been trying to do since Bob Quinn and Patricia got here? Establish the run. So yes, he isn't the greatest in pass blocking, but that's not what we're trying to make our identity. We're trying to make us a smash mouth, run first football team. And that's what they went out and did. That is exactly what they went out and did. So I think as far as the signing, I think it was great. I think his contract is really nice because it's very front loaded. So if need be, if he does suck for some reason, we can get rid of him after 2 years or so. And, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty, but we brought in Joshua Garnett, who was a first-round pick a couple years ago. He has potential as long as he can stay healthy. And we still have Dow. We still have Wiggins, So I'm pretty happy with where we're at. As far as the offensive line, I would like to improve. Don't get me wrong, by any means, I would like to improve. But I think for the identity they're trying to build, I think they're going towards the end game of that, of being able to run the ball a lot more efficiently.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Man,
yeah. Luke, please let me know if you're with Andrew here. Do you think that the O line is in a pretty good spot right now and has potential? Or just tell me what you think and unpack everything about the O line and what's been happening.
I think the O line is not in a good place. I think the Big V signing makes sense, at least for me, if you put him at guard, because you cannot have a guy who is poor or mad at pass blocking in this division where he's going to be going up against Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and whoever else, what's his name? Danielle Hunter. You can't have that at the tackle position. I think if you make him a guard, fine. This is one of the reasons why I said the Lions are looking at Isaiah Simmons, but if he's gone, they're going to go offensive tackle because they're not going to miss an opportunity to build that line to be able to have that complete line. So when you look at it, we asked for them to build in the trenches, and they're doing that. I think I called. I know Dolo Dynamite was on board with me when I brought up Danny Shelton as the Lions' biggest target in free agency to replace people. They're doing it, but this offensive line is far from being complete. Joshua Garnett, I would be surprised if he makes this team. But given the way the new CBA is, and you got to carry 8 linemen, he could still make it. But overall, I think that the signing itself is cool. The money, I think, still sucks. I don't care how nobody words it. It still amounts to like $15.8 million in the first 2 years of his contract. Even if you dump him, I think it sucks. But nonetheless, to me, if he's playing guard, I'm cool. But this line in trouble, people. It really is, and I think that the Lions will be looking to add more offensive linemen as the time go on.
Yeah, I think they're going too. I just think they're trying to establish the run, so that's why they got Big V, because he's really dominant in the run game.
Yeah, and you guys hit on some good spots. Yeah, you guys hit on some good spots. I like that you guys both brought up the contract because that was one thing that was definitely scary when we got it. When I got that notification, I was like, 5 years. Patricia's about to be here for 1 year. Why do we have this guy for 5 years? But now, after looking at it and seeing that's front loaded and that we have an out and that we could get rid of him in like 2 years if he's no good, that definitely calms my nerves a little bit. And then on top of that, I saw some stuff from your boys, PFF. They rated him higher. Glasgow and Wagner in run protection. So I thought that was pretty good, especially because Wagner and Glasgow got paid big money, and this contract is a lot smaller comparatively. So I'm happy with the signing.
Man. I hate it because think about this. Listen, he started 20 games in his whole career. 20 games he started in his whole career. How do you grade him higher than somebody who's been a complete starter, who has a bigger sample size, and say he's a better run blocker? Your sample size is not equal to that of the guys you're grading him against. When Rick Wagner came out and was in free agency, he was the consensus best right tackle. Consensus. Where was it? Where was the census best right tackle for Big V was at? Where was that at?
Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
But PFF, let them tell it. Let them tell it. Michael Jackson is not a very good artist, so I don't have time for the PFF stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying for sure. But I still like the signing. I think he performed well in the limited snaps he had, just based on his statistics, because I haven't really watched any film on him. But I think that, if he does switch to guard, that'll be a very good signing for us. But yeah, we definitely need more moves. We are not done with the O-line at all. We have significant holes there. And if we want a run game, that's where we need to secure. Our running backs, I know that people want to spend significant money on running backs. Mike wanted to get Derrick Henry, which would have broken the bank. And other people like you, Luke, want to draft one in the second round, and that's going to eat up significant capital. But with our O-line as dismal as it was last year and has been for the past, however long Stafford's been there, we need to shore up this O-line bad. So we need more guys like Big V, and we'll see how we do that.
I think it would be terrific if we. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think it would be terrific if we did grab Cesar Ruiz, which some people are commenting in the chat, in the second round. And then that way we have Big V and him playing guard position. And then we have a huge boost to our O-line in both passing and run blocking abilities.
I love that. I would love if anything that fixed the guard position first, because you got to keep in mind, if you fix the guard position, you already know you got a good center, okay? So you got a good center. And if it's a lot of noise, I apologize. I am still at work. But if you got a good center, you have the good center, you have the guards, the Lions are going to look and say, if I can't get Isaiah Simmons, they're going to take the best tackle. And they're going to use that tackle as a left tackle, and they're going to bump Taylor Dagger over to the right. I keep telling people, when you move on from Wagner, Dagger is going to the right tackle spot. Don't know why people don't want to believe this, but this is what they have been doing. This has been the trend for them to find
very
and
common.
repurpose.
That's very common.
It's a repurpose move.
Yeah.
So, overall, like I said, I think the Lions need to keep working on this line. The line is far from done, and I'm not convinced that Big V, if you tell me he's the right tackle, I don't think he's the answer.
Okay. Yeah, no, we definitely need to work on this line and the other line as well. So let's switch over to the defensive line. There's two significant signings there. One of them, so we're going to start off with the smaller one. So Nick Williams from the Bears. So this is a guy that's been in the league for a while. He's turning 30 years old. He had 6 sacks last year. That's, pretty much all the description about him on the internet, because not a lot of people know about this guy, apparently. Andrew, what do you think about us stealing from our division rival, Nick Williams?
I mean, I like it in terms of, who he is, his abilities and everything. I don't like the contract. I think the biggest problem with a lot of what we did so far in the offseason is that we gave people way too much damn money. And it actually pisses me off. And I get it. We're the Lions. Not many people want to come to Detroit. We got to offer more money. But, dude, those are the big name people. People who are not big name people, they have no room to talk. You give them a contract, they either take it or they probably won't be in the league. So with Nick Williams, he's a big boy. He is a big guy. He had 6 sacks this past season, I believe. He's pretty good at stuffing the run. When Nick Williams was talking to some reporters, he pretty much was like, look, my main objective when I'm on the field is to stop the run. If I get a sack, that's a bonus, but that is not my main objective. And I was like, I mean, shit, that's really interesting. I would like you to get a sack if you can, but he sounds like a nose tackle. You know what I'm saying? When you think of what he's saying and his build and everything, he fits the build of a nose tackle. So I like the signing. I think he's a pretty good, talented player, especially when you put some good ends and another tackle around him. I just don't like the contract.
Yeah, and there's been discrepancies between different sources on what his contract is. I've seen 2 years $8 million, and I've seen 2 years $10 million. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I just effed up big time. That's Danny Shelton's contract. Yeah, no. So there's discrepancy about Danny Shelton's contract, but no. Back to Nick Williams. Luke, what do you think about Nick Williams? Is there anything that you've seen about him that isn't covered by the national media? Anything besides his 6 sacks and his mediocre rest of his career?
I think sacks are overrated. I know people are gonna be like, "What do you mean?" I want you to make the pocket uncomfortable. Yeah. I need you to move around. How often are you collapsing the pocket? That to me is what make people like Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh so special, because you're able to you're able to get them people off their spot. And so to me, when I see those type of things, I'm all for it, because that's where I start to say, okay, what needs to really happen here. What I love about his game mostly is the fact that initial off the snap like takeoff is nasty. He still needs to work on his hands and pass rush moves, but that initial snap, off the ball snap, boom, he's got that down pack. And the idea that you can move him around from DN into nose tackles, I'm trying to use terms that we can use, but you can move this guy around and not even have to worry about can he hold that position. So to me, one of the things that I love first about it is the contract he gave him. It's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. Just like it's dirt cheap for Danny Shelton. And I just think that anytime you can get a player that's dirt cheap who you know is not going to be a starter, he's a role player, and there's a high reward, low risk, I'm all for it.
Got you. Yeah, I was a big fan of the signing as well, just based off of our need at D tackle. I want us to stock up on as many as we can, to be honest with you. And in general, I just want us to stock up on just the trenches because that's what we need, and that's what we need the most depth in. Our entire D line was obliterated last year, and we needed guys. We needed depth everywhere. So having a guy like this that does have versatility, that does do multiple things, and for a cheap contract, I agree. I thought that was a win. All right, moving on to the other D tackle that we signed, that we've already kind of teased a little bit, Danny Shelton. So this is a guy, he was a Patriot back when they won the Super Bowl. He's a guy that has Matt Patricia ties. He played very well last season, and we got him for 2 years on this is the discrepancy I was talking about, either $8 million or $10 million deal.
He's an $8 million.
It was $8 million, so $8 million for 2 years. That is dirt cheap for Danny Shelton. So Luke, what do you think about Danny Shelton? And what do you? So you mentioned that getting Williams dirt cheap and getting Shelton dirt cheap would be significant because they're not starters. Do you feel that way about Shelton as well?
No, Shelton is starting.
Okay.
Shelton is starting because his whole job is to take up space. I need you to just basically be like You ever seen this movie called Little Giants?
Nope.
Okay, it's an old movie called The Little Giants, and there was this one guy named Butch, and Butch was like the biggest kid on the unnatural team. He played for the Cowboys. He was so big that the whole 11 team jumped on him and he carried him over to the end zone. That's Danny Shelton. They just want him to literally just be so big that 3 of y'all can't move him off his spot, which frees up the linebackers. And to me, for $4 million a season, that's perfect. I don't need him to get no sacks. You ain't finna run through him, and you ain't finna move him off his spot. That to me is huge, and I think it's very significant that they keep him in that position. Now, the only knock on him is you're going to do him the same way you did Snacks, and that's bring him off the field on third downs. Outside of that, he's essentially Snacks, just younger.
Okay, all right. And that seems to be a trend here right now. It seems like we came into this offseason with a lot of holes, but we keep creating more holes for ourselves and then filling them with these kind of signings. So we got rid of Snacks Harrison, we got Danny Shelton, we got rid of Ashawn Robinson, we got Nick Williams, we got rid of Rick Wagner, we got Big V, we got rid of Devin Kennard, we got Jamie Collins, and so on. Mm-hmm. The last guy on our free agency to talk about right now is somebody that we had to trade for.
Hey, really quick, really quick. I want to put this out there because this just popped up. So the NFL has announced that starting tomorrow, any and everybody who wants to, no matter who you are, where you are, you will be allowed to watch the NFL Game Pass for free.
Oh my God.
It is, this just broke. It is absolutely free. You will be able to go back and see your favorite team's signature games, Hard Knocks, whatever it is. It's all free, no matter what your device is, cell phone, whatever. They're offering it on all platforms. It says the NFL Game Pass will be offered free of charge until May 31st to fans within the U.S. and starting Thursday until July 31st to fans outside the U.S. and Canada with the following features: game replays, NFL shows and game archives, live NFL network, televised shows. It says shows such as previous NFL Hard Knocks, 2019 episodes of NFL Red Zone. You will also get replay games in high definition for the 2019 season internationally only. So if you are out of the country, you only get the 2019 season. If you are in the country, you can go back as far as they started recording. That is free starting tomorrow.
That is huge. That is huge. I can't believe that that's happening. That's crazy.
Yep.
So, all you real Detroit Lions fans, all these free agents that we're picking up, go watch the film on them.
Yep. So starting
That's
tomorrow,
crazy.
it says starting
That's
tomorrow.
definitely what I'm going to be doing.
At Eastern time. So it's supposed to be starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. It'll be free to whoever, no matter what the device is.
That's hype.
Awesome.
Just want to put that out there. Go
Thank
back.
you,
My
NFL.
bad, real.
Hey, before you
appreciate
continue, I actually want to say my piece on Danny Shelton.
Did I skip you? My bad, man.
Yeah, it's all good, man. So as far as what Luke was saying, the reason why I said Nick Williams is expensive is because Nick Williams was a rotational player for the Bears and got $10 million from us for 2 years. Danny Shelton was their star nose tackle and got $8 million from us. That was why I said Nick Williams is overpriced. But I love this signing. The dude is young, and he does not move like Luke said. What were we missing from last year? A nose tackle that was doing his job. What happened the year before that when a nose tackle was doing his job? We played phenomenal. We had a great defense for the second half of the season. So the fact that not only do we get Danny Shelton, but also Nick Williams, and they both play inside like that, I'm ecstatic because when we were able to control that inside of the line, our defense played significantly better. And we got him for cheap. So, man, I am hype about that.
Nice. I love your optimism, man. I do think that it was a significant signing. If he could play like Snacks Harrison did at the back half of 2018, I think that we're in a good position to win. And I like that. But okay, so there's one more guy that we haven't covered yet, and we made a trade for him with none other than the Patriots. It was a swap of late round picks. I don't know if they said it yet. I think we gave up our 6th, and we got the Patriots 7th, maybe.
Yeah, that is correct. Okay,
so this is safety Duron Harmon. Okay, so going here, the Patriots paid McCourtney. They paid who else? They paid somebody else. They had to let go of Harmon. So naturally, the Lions are the guys that are going to pick him up. So what do you guys think of that? And do you, Luke, specifically, do you think this changes us trying to take Isaiah Simmons, specifically because we got a coverage linebacker in Jamie Collins, and we got a new safety in Harmon?
Well, we really didn't get a new safety in Harmon per se. The deal was a swap of the 6th round picks with New England, and they gave us Hartman in that deal. But Hartman, to me, is just another role player. He's going to be the backup, in my opinion. He's going to be the backup to whoever they get for the safety spot. Because to me, if you're going to go into the season with Hartman and Walker at your safeties, I know for a fact we getting a new coach, because that's not going to stop nothing. So to me, does this change us getting Isaiah Simmons? No. Isaiah Simmons is a man with many positions. I still think they take him. All the moves scream that they're taking him. You already got rid of Kennard. I told you that Jamie Collins would be an inside person. Who's the other outside linebacker? You want to put Jelani Tavai there? Okay, put him there. You still now need another safety. And who can play that? Isaiah Simmons. I think nothing changes. I think they still take Isaiah Simmons. I think they love his game. I think they love his versatility. I think they love his high character. They love his football IQ. He's different in a lot of ways. So to me, no. But Hartman, in my opinion, for the fact that he was basically given to us, I'm not gonna kill him over it. I ain't happy, but I ain't gonna kill him over it. That they start him, I'm gonna be upset.
Okay, that's fair.
NBA League Pass is also free April 22nd. Okay.
Yeah. D. Williams saying League Pass is also free. That's awesome. It definitely helps out. We need the entertainment if we're all, quarantined in our homes. So that's good to know. But Luke, man, I've been saying for a little bit that unfortunately, I believe the Lions are going to go with Okudah in the drafts. I know that you have a rubric of how Quinn drafts. I understand that Simmons is the right pick, and I hope you are right. I 100% am with you, and I pray to God that you are right and we get somebody like Isaiah Simmons. But I think, which with each and every move that we're making, it's becoming more and more clear that it's Okudah because we're not addressing the cornerback spot. And obviously it's early. Free agency just opened today, just opened about an hour ago now. So it's still way early. But with all the moves we're making, we're securing the trenches as much as we can. We got a safety, whether you believe it's strong, we still have Will Harris as well. I know you don't like Will Harris. I don't either. But the fact is we have Walker, Harmon, and Will Harris on contract. And then on top of that, we're securing our linebacker spots by getting, Jamie Collins. And I don't know, I'm not saying they're actually secure, but I think that Patricia and Bob Quinn think that they're secure now. And I think that they think that this is that we just shored up those positions, and now we need to address the cornerback position in the draft, unfortunately. So, Andrew, obviously Luke and I are on opposite opinions.
If what you say is true, if what you say is true, then that's good for us because what that tells me is we get a new coach.
Either way, it's good for us, Luke. Either way,
I don't like that. I don't like that opinion. Look, I don't like rooting for our team to fail just so that we have a head coach. Even if you want them to fail, you should still want them to get the best player, which is Isaiah Simmons, at that spot.
But see, my thing is this. I don't want them to fail. I want them to prove me wrong. But I'm also a creature who understands that things that are patterns, and patterns tend to show tendencies, and tendencies tend to show habits, and habits are hard to break. We have been going backwards the entire time. We have become the Detroit Lions of moral victory, and under his leadership, we've done nothing but going backwards. So I'm not rooting for them to lose. Make no mistake, not rooting for them to lose. I'm praying that they win because I just want to win to see them win. But I don't trust this coach.
Okay. I'm a little more optimistic than you because I disagree. I don't think that we've been moving backwards ever since Patricia got here. I don't think that's a fact. I think that he had, and obviously we're, you can call them excuses. I call them reasons. Okay. So listen, he played, there was a significant lack of performance in the first year, right? He didn't have his players. He went to the Super Bowl, didn't have a full offseason. We know all those excuses, right? Well, once we got Snacks Harrison towards the end of 2018, our defense was on point. Our offense was on point. We were punching people in the mouth. We were toe to toe with anybody in the league. If you told me to bet my life savings on either the Lions or anybody else that we were going up against, it would be a tough decision. There's no opponent that we were going up against at that point that I thought, oh my God, we're going to get blown out. There's no way we're winning. That just didn't happen. And then coming into 2019, with all those injuries, we still were in every single game. We were a few plays away from being 5-0. I say this every time, I know. And I have to bring them up. Obviously the fumble at the goal line during the Chiefs game that was 99 yards returned for a touchdown. That was a BS play. The Packers game, that was legit. That was absolute bull crap, and we should have won. The refs stole that game from us. And obviously the tie against Arizona was despicable. There's no excuse for that. We should have won that game. But I believe that we had the talent to win that game, and the coaching was there. We let it slip through our fingers. And besides that, then Stafford goes down. I don't see how any of us expected to win when Stafford went down. So I don't see how anyone can look at Matt Patricia's reign here in Detroit and say that, post Matt Stafford going down, oh, our team went to garbage. Oh, I hate when people say, look, well, we were 6-10, then we went down to 3-13. Okay, but you're not looking at all of the reasons. You're not looking at why we went to 3-13. It wasn't just because Matt Patricia failed our team over and over and over and over and over again, in my opinion.
I mean, there's some good points you made, but let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What is Matt Patricia supposed to be known for?
I know where this is going.
Yes. This is my biggest, obviously everybody's biggest gripe against him for sure. He is known for the defense, and our defense was the one to underperform. Yes, I agree.
Okay, all right. Let me take a step. Let me just one more question. I'm just curious. Just one more. Did our backup quarterbacks play well enough to win those games? I mean, you said it yourself. They were in 14 or 16 of those games and just couldn't finish it. And when you are in 14 or 16 games, doesn't that fall on the head coach? So I guess it's a two-part question.
I think that you are partially right. I think that our backup quarterbacks were serviceable enough to win games for sure. I think that they were. But when you add that to the hold on. When you add that to the injuries that we sustain on the defense, and I'm not talking about the ones that they just threw on the injury reserves for no reason. I'm talking about the ones from the beginning of the season onward. The D-line that we were touting so much, Snacks Harrison, Trey Flowers, Deshaun Hand, they didn't even see each other the entire offseason. They met up week 1, and they're like, hey, my name's Damon Harrison. What's your name? Listen, they didn't even know each other. There was no chemistry built. And then throughout the season, it was a revolving door. Mike Daniels, I don't even think he played. Did he play a game even? I didn't even hear his name. There's things that happen on the defense, and I'm not saying that it's not Matt Patricia's fault. I'm just saying that if Matthew Stafford were there, we would have had a much better chance to win because our backup quarterbacks, even though they did put up points and they're serviceable, they were no Matt Stafford level. Okay.
Listen, I'm going with you. This is a beautiful yellow brick road, and I'm down there with you. Okay. But I'm still stuck with these questions. Okay. Because what is Matt Patricia's record against rookies?
Rookie quarterbacks?
Yeah, rookie quarterback. What's his record against rookie quarterbacks?
Well, we got blown out against Sam Darnold.
That's okay. So that's a loss.
And then, and then we tied.
That's a loss. Go ahead.
We tied against the guy in the Cardinals. I forget. I don't even know his name.
Kyler Murray.
Beautiful.
Quarterback.
Kyler Murray. Okay.
Yeah, Murray. Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
So you realize that when it comes to the rookie quarterbacks, and the teams who have those rookie quarterbacks and the rookie coaches, we're not even beating them. And you're still under this belief that this is a Matthew Stafford not playing issue? Well, let me give you one last question. Who's the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Mason Rudolph. And then he got hurt or something like that. So I see what you're saying, man. I'm not at all saying that Mike Tomlin or something like that. But to be fair, Mike Tomlin's had years of continuity and consistency to be able to build his team, okay? And guess what? Roethlisberger wasn't even playing that well, okay? So once he plugged in somebody like a Mason Rudolph and they were doing just as well, that was the reason. Matt Stafford was playing his ass off. You know what I mean? He was playing at an MVP level. So when he leaves and we have backup quarterbacks that are playing serviceable like a Mason Rudolph, it takes a bigger effect, in my opinion.
It sounds good. It sounds good. I think if you're going to have these great points in his defense, just make sure that I have more great points to destroy him. He's not who you think he is. And this is not because we didn't have a quarterback. This is because he could not rally this team. I don't want to hear about continuity with Mike Tomlin. That man was handed literally nothing and still found a way to will that team. That team had tons of injuries just like us, and they still found a way to win. But we just gonna keep on saying, give Matt Patricia another year. I ain't mad at it because, like I said, it gives us an opportunity to see who's paying attention to these things and who's going with their heart. My heart ain't going by this. My eyes told me he ain't the guy for the job when he's making these in-game decisions that don't make sense, like trying to chew clock for 7 minutes on there. I don't know how you do that, but you might want to start with a running game. But I'm picking up what you're putting down, though. Like I said, we'll get to the Wizard eventually, but I'm going down this road with you.
The good thing is that, after this season, it's either you had a bad season or you had a good season. If you had a bad season, clearly you're out. If you had a good season or an okay season, it's like maybe you finally made changes. But either way, there's no excuses by your fourth season because you have time to bring in other players, to add depth, to mold players, this, that, bring in who you want. This season is going to show it all. I don't care who gets hurt. I don't care who plays, who doesn't play, how well they play. This is it. We're going to see how well bringing in Matt Patricia is on this season.
Absolutely. And I'm not here to just give all of the, credit to Matt Patricia and say that no, he's going to take us to the promised land. I'm just saying, let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see. Because guess what? If he does take us to the playoffs, hold on. If he does, if there's no excuses, there's going to be no excuses this season, right? None at all, right? If Matt Stafford's healthy, everything, what's the excuse? If he does take us to the playoffs and we make a run this season, then all of the quote unquote excuses that I'm spewing out, they are legitimate reasons. Because if you take those away, so it's a wait and see game for us. For sure.
No, I agree. I agree with you. It's just that if I was a betting man, and I do tend to be one from time to time, I would bet that money on it. I think if you had to bet holding your breath, you probably wouldn't make it. Matt Patricia is not the guy you think he is.
Well, I could hope all day long, man. I could drink that Kool-Aid. Okay, so I'm gonna say one more question for you guys. And then we can go to any questions that the people in the chat have. So the last question for you guys is: you've seen these moves so far, and you've seen guys that we've been talking about all offseason, like Chris Harris. He just signed somewhere else. Byron Jones signed somewhere else. All the guys that we've been really wanting signed somewhere else, but we still have money left. So if you of the remaining free agents, one big splash player, who would you pick?
Man, I mean, I'll start. Obviously, for me, it's Yannick Ngakoue or potentially Chris Jones, and that's a hopeful fan. That's not actually taking the business side of it into account of how much money they're going to cost, because both of them are going to cost a crap ton, but both of them are so dominant. And then if you were to bring in a dominant defensive lineman like either of them, our whole D-line is set, in my opinion. You would have Deshaun Hand. You would have Trey Flowers, Danny Shellen, Nick Williams. You have Austin Bryant, who could potentially be a good player. We haven't really been able to see what he's done. And then you have Chris Jones or Yannick Ngakoue. Our D-line is more than serviceable at that point, and I would be happy as hell because I'm all about building the trenches.
All right, I'd be very happy. I would be very happy with either of those, man.
Yeah, I think for me, I think what I would like to see of the remaining free agents is, and I know this ain't gonna be a popular idea, but Eric Reed just got released.
I like that.
And I'm already on board for taking the safety in the second round if I have to. I just need somebody with an attitude at the safety spot. I don't think that's Will Harris. I don't think that's Hartman. I would prefer us go out and get Eric Reed and get somebody with an attitude. But I already know what the Lions going to do. If they not from New England and got an attitude, they not coming here. But that would be who I would go and take. Joe Tooney got franchise.
That would be nice.
Coming in second. Joe Tooney.
Man, if we could get him somehow still, I would do it. That'd be great. Because we have a hole at guard that seems like it's not going to be filled until we get to the draft, but we'll see. But yeah, if I could get Joe Tooney,
You know what's funny, Red? And I had to bring this up because it's been bothering me all day. The Lions swapped 6th-round picks with the New England Patriots, right? And they brought in Deron Hartman, right? The Denver Broncos traded for Jarrell Casey, a 30-year-old D tackle / DN with 3 years left on his contract, still at the top of his game, for a 7th-round pick. Did Detroit even call Tennessee? Like, they are New England people. Did you even call them? Like, was a phone call made? Because if it was, it should have been, who's all up for trade? They go, oh, this person. Okay, well, what about this? And then they go, well, I don't know, man. We got somebody on the phone. Well, whoever they on the phone with, tell me what they want. We're going to counter that offer. And they go, well, they tell them they want a 5th. Well, you might as well take that deal. All right, they said they're going to give us a 7th. Well, I'll give you a 6th. And then you get them. How are we missing on deals like that? People don't understand. When it comes to me, I don't care about the name. I care about the value in the production I can get for the value. Like, if I can get cheap labor, why not? Like,
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Luke. Even when I saw that, I messaged everyone. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, why do the Lions not do that? Like, the guy has multiple years left on his contract, multiple years, which means you don't have to go out and pay extra. You already know what you're getting right then and there, and then you have the player to plug in. I've said that about so many players, and I'm like, yo, hit up Jacksonville. They're on a fire sale. Go grab one of their star defensive players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Know.
Like,
right.
Pay that money. That's the easiest way than letting, it's free agency and there's a bidding war. There's no bidding war. They're already under contract. Just trade a freaking late pick because that's what everyone's going for right now. And it drives me absolutely nutty because if you have cap space, that's the easiest way about it because I don't care about no 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. I want a Pro Bowler caliber player, like all these guys that are being traded.
They gave up a 7th-round pick. Not no 1st, not no 2nd, not no 5th. Listen, they literally said, so this is literally what Mike Vrabel did. Mike Vrabel and his GM was like, so Detroit got snacks for a 5th. Oh, that's good for them. Well, I guess I'll trade this guy for a 7th. Denver was like, we win a 7th-round pick. I bet you he dropped the phone running that thing, trying to get to the facts in there to let them know the trade is going through. Like, deal, hold on, I'll be right back.
Exactly.
I mean, I get it in certain situations for cap space. If you literally are like, I need to get rid of some players and I might as well get like a 5th, 6th round pick or something, and you're getting rid of cap space. But these are like some dumb moves. And they're genius for the teams that are getting the players. But like, man, that's not costing you anything besides the cap space. That's the easiest way to get a star talent, man. And it drives me nutty because the Lions never do that. The only one they did it with was Snacks. And yeah, he had a very productive first year. But look where we're at now. So, damn.
Yeah. I see, like, when I see moves like that, even the Snacks one, I see all these moves for like 5th and lower for these dominant players. I would be on the phone with every team like, hey, who are you giving up for a 7th-round pick this year? Like, who's on the block? You want my 7th? Every year you want my 7th? I'll trade my next 10 years of 7th-round picks for somebody. Like, I don't need 7th-round picks. They're just like undrafted free agents to me. Like, if they're falling to the 7th round, no one's going to take them. You're going to get them in the undrafted. Like, just stop, man. Trade your 7th-round picks. If you're getting guys like this, go for it. I'm all for trading those lower picks. But okay, so I mean, if I had to pick somebody that we haven't signed yet or that hasn't been signed, I would want Chris Jones or somebody like that. But anybody that's not tagged, I'd want Dontari Poe, man. I want this guy. I think that he'd be a great D tackle to add to our secure spot so that we don't have to go after Brown or somebody in the draft and that we can go after Isaiah Simmons. Okay, so now is the time. We've been on for over an hour. Any questions you guys have in the chat, please let us know. We will answer.
My lunch break is well over, so I need to.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Thanks for coming on here.
Hey, I appreciate the invite, man, and having fun with y'all. We got to do this again, real. We got to figure out a date for this debate because I'm finna go ahead and get my popcorn ready.
I have time now because I'm home. I'm working from home for the next couple of weeks at least.
Okay,
so I definitely have time now.
Next week.
I'll tell you what, we can do something maybe tomorrow.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
What about Friday? Because tomorrow's the round table.
Yeah. You guys might as well do that next week, man. Start fresh. Gives you both some time.
I don't need no more time. I've been listen. When you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. I'm all ready.
I'm ready. So, yeah, I'm down Friday, Saturday, whatever. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, man. Listen, y'all have a good one, gentlemen.
You too.
All right, you too. All right, Andrew. So, last thing we could talk about on here is the moves that the other NFC North teams have made. So, let's start with the big one, man. The Bears have traded for Nick Foles, man.
Bro, I'm so happy. I don't know what the hell the Bears have been doing, but like, why are you going to go grab someone that has such a big contract that literally got benched? Don't get me wrong. He was hurt this past season, but he came back and got benched to Gardner Minshew, who Gardner Minshew is about a little bit above average. You know, he's not perfect, you know, but the guy is not good. He has had some fantastic stretches. That Super Bowl run, fantastic. That time he went 27-2, fantastic. But everything else is so mediocre, and you just invested almost $100 million. All right, it was like $88 million into this guy. I could not be happier because the Bears just screwed themselves royally. So the Bears have fucked themselves. What do you think? Then we'll go on to the other teams.
Yeah, because there was rumors about all of the free agents that they might have got. Like, they could have gotten Phillip Rivers, who I don't think would have been that much better than Nick Foles. But, I mean, like, if he could turn it on and be the Phillip Rivers we knew from a few years ago, oh, holy, man, the Bears would be crazy. Or Cam Newton. If they would have gotten Cam Newton, I would have probably cried, you know, even though he's had, obviously, he's had accuracy issues in the past, but, like, or Jameis Winston. Either of those guys, like, I get that they had some like accuracy issues in the past, but they're dominant players. Dude, Cam Newton is one of the best quarterbacks for running the ball. I didn't want to say it just flat out. He's not one of the best quarterbacks flat out, but running the ball, he's one of the best. He's huge. He's crazy. I love Cam Newton, and I would have hated if he was a Bear. But yeah, definitely happy that they signed Nick Foles. Or they traded for Nick Foles, and they give up a second-round pick.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the details were, but I know they gave a higher pick. And I mean, dude, they already have no draft capital because of the Khalil Mack trade. And now you have this crap, dude. Their quarterback position is so screwed. It's ridiculous. So unless they somehow get fourth round pick, thanks, Mike. Unless they somehow get some freaking Tom Brady in the 7th round or something, like, they're going to be so bad at the quarterback position for years to come. So I'm kidding the candy shop.
Yeah. It's a 4th round pick. Yeah. Mike and Ghost Gunner just said. Okay, so even a 4th round pick, I'm just glad that they gave up anything for it. This is gonna be great. Okay. The other big thing. Oh, well, we could get this one out of the way. So the Packers signed Rick Wagner. So obviously a way cheaper deal than he had with us, but it was like about half, actually. They're paying half of what we were paying him. But he is replacing Balaga.
Oh, Balaga. Yeah, Balaga.
So yeah. So what do you think about that? I know you said something really funny in the chat. So what do you think about Rick Wagner going to the Packers?
Oh, dude. I guarantee you guys, mark my words, I guarantee Rick Wagner does not get a single holding call or anything all year. Okay? Watch this. Just like when TJ Lang never got called for holding or crap when he was a Packer, then gets called for holding every other play and has 9,000 concussions, Rick Wagner will not get called for a single holding call all year.
Not one. He's going to be one of the best tackles to ever play this year.
Dude, the Packers linemen never get called for crap, and it pisses me off.
He's going to be holding all year. He's going to be holding the Lions all year. They're never going to get called on it. We know it for a fact. Yeah. Okay. But the other big thing going on is the Vikings, okay, trading Stephon Diggs and getting the Colts' 13th overall pick. That is huge. That is huge. What do you think about that one, Andrew?
First off, I'm pretty mad. Okay, I'm happy and I'm mad. I'm mad because how the hell do you get the 13th overall pick for Diggs in such a deep wide receiver class, especially top heavy, that like, why would you give that away? Like, it makes no sense. And I wanted to potentially trade back in the draft. And yes, the Colts could have potentially been a trade partner. So it pisses me off in that aspect, but I'm happy as hell because, I mean, I don't know. As far as their offense, dude, like the Vikings offense is not going to click that well this year because Adam Thielen is injury prone. Dalvin Cook, don't get me wrong, the dude had a phenomenal year, and Alex Madison is also a really good backup. But Dalvin Cook hasn't been healthy the entire season. You know, Kirk Cousins, he's hot and cold. He's either a top 3 quarterback or he's a freaking Trubisky. So like they got a lot of problems on the offense, and I'm pretty sure they lost an offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. And like even with that extra pick in the first round, I just don't think 13th overall pick was from Colts to 49ers for defensive tackle. Okay, thank you, Luke. So I don't know what they gave him. But overall, you know, I'm happy Diggs is gone. I don't know. What do you think?
Wait. Luke says that 13th overall pick was from Colts to 49ers for. Oh, then what did they get for Diggs? I'm looking it up.
Okay. Well, while you're talking about that, that is correct because Eric Armstead went for the 13th overall pick. But on top of Diggs, you know, they got rid of Everson Griffin, Linval Joseph. Like their team is finally falling apart because they cannot afford them all. So I'm happy Diggs did go to the Bills.
Oh yeah, it was the Bills for a 22nd overall pick. Okay. So we completely botched that one.
Yeah, and I mean when you look at the Vikings team, don't get me wrong, they have so much talent. I'm very surprised they did not make a Super Bowl run. But they lost.
They've been trying. They've been trying every year, man. Every year they come close.
You lost 2 of your starting defensive linemen. You lost your best receiver. And what are you getting? You're getting a couple picks, you know, like that. They're heading in the wrong direction, which is very, you know, I mean, it's exciting. As a Lions fan, it's very exciting.
I disagree completely, bro. Like, I disagree completely.
How?
Stephon Diggs, he's a great player, man. But look, man, like he didn't put up that much production for like first round pick. They're gonna get a first round pick, probably use it towards their trenches and make their trenches even better. I think they're gonna be they're gonna be a better team.
They lost Linval Joseph and Everson Griffin. Those are their two of their top 3 defensive linemen. I don't care who you replace.
How do you replace those? Now they have 2 first round picks. Now they have 2 first round picks to replace those with. They didn't have that before. They had Stephon Diggs.
No, I mean, let's say the guy, let's say they get Gallimore or someone. All right, cool. Maybe he can be as good as Everson Griffin is. But you're telling me with their 2 picks, they're going to hit on both of them, and both of them are going to be as elite as those guys are? Not a chance.
No, I'm not saying that. But there's a chance. There's a chance now because of this, and there wasn't a chance before. So I don't know. I think that they are still going to be.
Oh, and Xavier
one of the top
Rhodes. I forgot about that. And they lost Xavier Rhodes, man. Like their defense took a huge hit.
They cut Xavier Rhodes because he was so bad this year. They benched him. So I mean, it's not like they lost him. Whatever. Like he was bad last year, and they're still really damn good. So
yeah, they have a lot of.
I think their team is still excellent. Yeah, that's for sure. But so do we. So does everybody. So yeah. All right. So okay, moving forward, let's talk about some of these questions in the chat that you guys have. All right, Stephen Farmer. Chances on an RB. Okay, so I think there's a good chance that we're gonna get an RB. It's just that I don't personally want. I think we should spend our capital on the line. We need a guard so bad. We need just go get the best guard. Whoever's the best guard available in free agency right now, go get him. Don't worry about a running back. But I think we are gonna get a running back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably gonna be Deion Lewis. So,
bro,
let's just leave that.
I seriously will jump through this microphone and slap the shit out of you. Like, don't even play like that, bro. Like that actually hurts to hear. Like my ears are bleeding right now. I need to go wipe them. Like, no, bro. Okay,
or they'll overpay for Melvin Gordon or something.
And would I be shocked if we got a running back either in free agency or the draft? Not even close. I would not be shocked by any means because, you know, they've drafted Ty Johnson. They've brought in J.D. McKissick. You know, we just drafted Kerryon a couple of years ago. Like, we're investing a lot in the running back position, but I think what they're finally realizing is We need to get a damn offensive line. So it'll be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we either drafted one in the second round or we brought one in super late, or if we kind of got a cheap running back like Howard or someone else that's in a free agency right now that we can get for a couple mil a year.
I would love to get somebody late in the draft. If it was my choice, I'd get somebody either late in the draft or an undrafted free agent. And I think that in the Super Bowl, we saw that Mozart and Williams were both very, very good, especially behind their lines. You know what I mean? That's what made them really great. And it wasn't the fact that they were second-round picks, and it wasn't the fact that they were big-name free agents that the team spent a lot of money on. Is that they were cheap, and they were able to allocate more money towards their lines. So I don't. Yeah, that's where I'm leaving that. Okay, so rumor is the Lions tried to finalize a deal with Chris Harris, but failed.
Thank God.
I'm glad. I'm really actually very glad. And just hearing that rumor alone makes me a little less sure that we're going to get Okudah, which makes me happy because I don't want Okudah. I want some, even though he's a great player. If we trade back pretty far and he's the last really, really excellent blue chip player available, I'm fine with Okudah. But I'd rather target somebody like Isaiah Simmons or Derek Brown, in my opinion. So I'd love if they went and grabbed a cornerback, but I thought Chris Harris wasn't the guy, and I know that he has ties with Corey Underlin, and he had played his best years under Corey Underlin, but that was when he was a slot cornerback. I keep preaching this. And Justin Coleman is our slot cornerback. We paid him a lot of money to be our slot cornerback. We don't need another slot cornerback. And neither of those guys play exceptionally well on the outside. So we don't need Chris Harris since we have Justin Coleman. I think that Amani Oruwariye would probably be a better outside cornerback at this point in his career compared to Chris Harrison at this point in his career. So I think that they should target somebody that's more of an outside guy. But unfortunately, Byron Jones and some of these other guys are already taken. So maybe somebody like Darqueze Dennard, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy that we didn't get the Harris deal. Like you said, he plays inside nickel, and we already just invested a crap ton in Justin Coleman. So it wouldn't make sense. And someone, Seth Brown, he's like, we may sign Logan Ryan. If we were to get a cornerback, Logan Ryan played really well for the Patriots, and I think depending on stuff, I think we could get him for a little bit cheaper because he didn't have such a great year this past year. So I think if we were to get an outside cornerback, he wouldn't be a bad option, but he still would be a little bit overpriced. And then Howard went to the Fins apparently, which I did not see anywhere. So that's unfortunate.
Okay. Ghost Gunner says there's a video about the Packers on how they're coached to hold in a certain way to where they don't get called for it. Well, honestly, Ghost, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that because I feel like TJ Lang would have taught the rest of the O-line how to do that. You know what I mean? I think that you're right. They are coached to hold because they know they can get away with it. That's what I think is going on here. They know they can get away with it. They know the referees aren't calling them. The back judge referees, right? I don't know what you're doing, Andrew, but stop. So the back judge, the guy that's like behind the court, you can tell whenever they show replays, they're looking specifically at Lions players to see what we're doing wrong to try and call us on something every single time. Like it's just, I don't know if it's unconscious or conscious bias, but bias is there, and that is what really, really rakes my nerves. But I don't think there's anything we can do about it, and we're gonna see Wagner definitely hold a lot more. They about him when he was on, I think the Ravens, when he was on the Ravens, and like he almost never got called for holding. But when he came to the Lions, he got called multiple times for holding in like the first year or something like that. It is what it is, something that we have to deal with, but I don't think that there's a particular like way to hold to get away with it because I think TJ Lang would have taught us that.
Yeah, and I mean, Ghost Gunner is partially right. They teach them to do that because they can get away with it. And Detroit definitely gets screwed by the refs all the time. And it's starting to become a lot more apparent to other fan bases and just the media in general because of what happened this past year with the Packers game. So,
yes, and okay, so K-Man
season.
K-Man season. Okay, anyway, he said so. He says Vikings canceled their starting guard contract, and then somebody else earlier in the chat said they had Patriots ties. So I'm not really familiar with their guard and who they cut, but hey, bring them on. We need guards. We need
Josh
guards
Klein
really
is
bad.
a pretty good offensive lineman,
That's
especially
who it
when
is. Okay.
Yeah. When you look at what the Vikings have been able to do the past couple of years in the run game, I mean, it's nothing short of amazing. So I'm fine with it. If you want to bring him in, and especially because he got cut, I think that we'd be able to bring him cheaper, and that would be a phenomenal replacement. And then you have both guard positions potentially addressed depending on where Big B plays.
Yeah. Oh, so Seth Brown is saying they cut Trey Waynes as well. Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's been hard to keep up because some of these things are not even appearing. I have Bleacher Report constantly giving me updates, and they're not even talking about it. So I feel like a lot of signings and stuff have gone under the radar.
Yeah. And Chris Cabra says Howard went to the Fins. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing because he was cheap, and I think that was the guy that the Lions could have targeted. But I don't think we ever had rumors to target him. I don't think they ever wanted to target him. They wanted Deion Lewis.
Bro. Beetlejuice. Stop saying his name, bro. Like I don't even want that to be on the radar.
Dude, he has Patriot ties. There's no chance he's not going to us.
Right.
We might sign Deion Lewis because we didn't pick up J.D. McKissick. Exactly. It's sad. It's a sad truth. Oh, he could also go to the Giants. He could also go to any of the Patriots. Anyone that Patriots has. The Dolphins, the Titans just let him go because they were dumb enough to pay him too.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Hit that like button. Yes. All right.
Yeah. Some people are saying Waynes went to the Bengals and he got a deal, and Trey Waynes was pretty good. I personally, with where we're at currently, I 100% believe that we are not taking a defensive tackle in the first round because you just signed two of them and you still have Deshaun Hand, Trey Flowers, and Austin Bryant. And Romeo Arcawara. There's not a chance we're taking a defensive tackle in the first round.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. What did we do last offseason? We signed Jesse James, the highest paid tight end in free agency, and then we got Logan Thomas, and we were talking, we were big balling right there, man. We had all these tight ends, and then we go and draft Hawkinson. My boy, I love Hawkinson. All right, yeah, to the Bengals. All right, Trey Waynes. All right, guys, thank you all for joining us. We love having you guys on here. We love coming on here to talk to you guys, and we definitely had to speak on this free agency stuff. We're gonna be on the round table tomorrow, so you'll hear more from us. Also, as more information, new news starts coming out about the Lions and who they might pick up, any trades they might do, we are going to cover it for sure. So if you're a real Detroit Lions fan, like we are, jump onto our channel and hit that subscribe button because you are not going to want to miss what the Lions fans have to say about what the Lions are doing in free agency. Also, Andrew, what's the last things you got to say to the people in the chat?
All right, bet. So me and Real, we made Twitters. We're not big on Twitter, but sometimes we let you guys know if we're about to go live or just certain things we like or don't like about what's going on in the NFL. So give us a follow.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll see you guys later. See you guys tomorrow.